What up, everyone? Sorry for the delay in reviews lately. There hasn't been that much movies to talk about lately, so I've just been kind of taking a break from YouTube. But I'm back and I'm here to talk about Mission Impossible. Dead Reckoning Part 1 is coming out, and as you all know, it is two parts, and I'm assuming it's the finale of this, I won't even say trilogy, quad trilogy, whatever, this franchise. Mission Impossible Fallout, funny enough, was the first Mission Impossible movie I've ever seen. And to this day, it's one of my favorite action movies ever. I absolutely love it. And then I kind of went backwards. I watched Fallout and then Ghost Protocol, and those are the two movies I've ever seen. Haven't seen anything else in the series. So when I was at the cinema store, I found all the DVDs, but then beside it was the box set on 4K for $60. So I said, fuck it, and I bought it. There's literally every movie in there, obviously, other than Dead Reckoning, because it's not out yet. And I was just very excited to start from the beginning and see how Tom Cruise's character develops and see how the original Mission Impossibles are, because I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan, but when I was a kid, didn't really care for him too much. I was more into James Bond when I was a kid, and as I got older, I started to appreciate Tom Cruise a lot more. When I was a kid, I always thought Mission Impossible and 007 were kind of the same thing. They're not. They're completely different. 007 has more of a goofier, well, now in this day and age, Daniel Craig. That series was more dark and gritty, but I never found those movies to be intense. I didn't find them to have that good of a story. I didn't find them to have that good of a plot. This first Mission Impossible movie alone, I think, has a better structure, better pacing, better, I wouldn't say better action, not this one, but maybe Fallout. But it just all around works better for me compared to 007. I love Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig, but those movies they have too much explaining. Mission Impossible kind of gives you like the bare bones and like just enough, and then you gotta kind of figure out the rest for yourself. There's more of a mystery behind it. It's not just go kill this guy. There's a lot more to it, but at the same time, it's very basic, and I think they handled that very well. I was curious to see how good the movie would look. This comes with Dolby Atmos. I left the case in the house, so my next video I'll show you guys what the DVD looks like. But all the discs have Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, HDR, and I watched a couple of minutes of the old Mission, like the first Mission Impossible on streaming, and obviously it doesn't look terrible. It came out in the 90s. There's a lot worse, but it still has that fuzziness to it, and the audio isn't the best. This 4K disc blew me away. At the beginning, I was like, it's all right, but once you get into the parts where there's buildings exploding, there's explosions in cars, there's Tom Cruise using the little bubblegum trick, the colors just pop instantly, and they're so beautiful. The shadows, the way that they cast the nightlight, when everyone's outside, when it's dark and all the city's lit up, it looks great. The characters' faces, the sweat, the hair, everything looks great. And yeah, I don't know exactly year, but I know it came out in the 90s. But for a transfer for an old movie, I think old movies look better than newer movies for 4K, just because they're so used to seeing them shitty. Now when they get brought back, you're like, oh my god. But great jump. The movie itself, had no issues with. I thought it was just going to be a typical spy espionage movie, but there is a really good story here. There's a really good twist at the end that I was not expecting. All the characters are great, the acting's great, the script is great. It's kind of funny seeing Tom Cruise being super, super aggressive and cocky in this one. And in Fallout, he's a bit changed, but I haven't seen like that middle gap of his character development yet. So I'm really excited to see how his character evolves in these upcoming movies. The score by Danny Elfman is great. One thing I found fucking hilarious at the beginning, where they're they show before they show the Mission Impossible title card. They do like the big build up, the big intro, kind of like Sam Raimi, and they show who worked on the movie, and it goes on and on. And it feels like an after credit scene, but I was expecting that to happen, and then it's just Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. Doesn't really mention any other people in the cast. I kind of found that they do like Danny Elfman and a couple of the side characters, but everyone else they save for the credits. But they just jump right into the movie. The story was the best to me. Not out of all of them, but I haven't seen them all. But the story was like the best you can get for like a spy espionage movie in the 90s and 70s. Better than Die Hard, better than 007, but they're kind of all different in their own ways, so they're kind of hard to compare. Really great audio, great vision, like I said. HDR packs a punch. I love when a movie like this, you don't really expect a twist, and it kind of subverts your expectations, and it makes the movie a lot more enjoyable. I was never bored, and the best thing about this hour and 50-minute movie was that I literally felt like 100%, not screwing around, not joking. I legit felt like I was sitting there for like an hour. When the movie was over, I was like, that was an hour and 50 minutes? Like, the pacing is terrific. It's so good. It's never slow. You're never confused as to what's going on. There's some mysteries that you got to figure out, but there's some things Tom Cruise's character doesn't know about, and you got to wait for him to figure it out. There's a lot of cool things that they do with the story, and I'm surprised at how good this movie holds up action-wise. It's not a lot of action until the third act, but it's more of a slow burn spy drama and a lot of stealth and tactical scenes, which I really enjoy. All in all, I would rate this movie a fucking 10 out of 10, honestly, for the first movie in a series. I thought this was going to be like a mediocre, like 6, 7 out of 10, because I know the Mission Impossible movies get completely bonkers, but they're still realistic. It's not like Fast and the Furious. Tom Cruise is actually doing all these things, so you know it's real. But they get so crazy, and it's kind of cool just going back to the roots and seeing how it started, how they kind of got their foot in the door. You can tell that they wanted to make this a franchise, but it's really cool just having the first movie be completely grounded, not all these bombastic action scenes, and just focus on the story and the build-up and the characters. I don't see why I wouldn't give this a 10 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and throughout the week, I'm going to have Mission Impossible 2 to 6. So check that out. Thanks again.